Unveiling the Truth. Coco Gauff's heartfelt confession exposes the lonely side of success. Under the blinding floodlights of Arthur Ashe Stadium, Coco Gauff's smile had become a symbol of modern tennis. It was radiant, fearless, the kind that carried the power to inspire millions. But as the cheers faded, as the lights dimmed, something lingered behind that iconic smile. Something few ever noticed. When Coco sat down for an intimate interview earlier this month, her words cut through the illusion of glamour that surrounds sports fame. "People see the trophies," she said softly, "but not the silence that comes after." It wasn't a statement of celebrity. It was a whisper of a young woman confronting her truth. Her confession peeled back the glossy layers of success and revealed a side rarely seen, the lonely side of victory, the girl who dreamed in serves and sunsets. Before she was a global name, Coco was just a kid from Delray Beach, Florida, a girl with braided hair, bright eyes, and dreams that stretched beyond her neighborhood courts. Her father, Corey, tossed her first ball when she was 6. Her mother, Candy, stood courtside, her steady presence echoing faith. The world knows the story. The 15-year-old who stunned Venus Williams at Wimbledon 2019. The youngest player to reach the second week. The prodigy who turned pressure into poetry. But hidden in that rise was a quiet truth. Coco's childhood was not like others. While her peers laughed at school dances and whispered secrets in classrooms, Coco chased serves across continents. "I love tennis," she recalled, "but sometimes I wish I could slow down, just be a normal teenager." She couldn't. The world had already chosen her as its next star. The spotlight shadow. Every success story casts a shadow. For Coco, that shadow stretched long and quiet. When she won, the world celebrated. When she lost, they demanded explanations. Headlines read, "The prodigy falters," or "The future of tennis still finding her way." "I used to read every comment," she admitted, "and it hurt." People forget that behind every photo or match score, there's a person who feels everything. At 16, Coco was already living under a microscope, a life dissected by strangers. Her victories weren't hers alone anymore. They belonged to millions. And yet, when the cameras turned off, she often sat in her hotel room, just Coco, scrolling through playlists, trying to feel grounded again. The sound of silence. The silence after matches unlike anything else. Heavy, echoing, infinite. For Coco, it was both comfort and curse. After winning her first Grand Slam, she described walking back into her suite. Balloons, flowers, and congratulations everywhere. But beneath all that joy was something unsettling. "I looked around," she said, "and realized I was celebrated with people I barely knew. The people I loved most were thousands of miles away." That night, she placed her trophy on the table, dimmed the lights, and stared at it. The applause was gone, replaced by the hum of the air conditioner and the glow of her phone screen. She didn't cry. She didn't smile. She just sat there, a teenager who had achieved everything she dreamed of, yet felt strangely hollow. Fame's fragile cage. Tennis fame is a paradox. The more the world loves you, the less space you have to breathe. Coco's days blurred into an endless cycle of flights, press conferences, and practices. Each city looked different but felt the same. Hotel, court, crowd, silence. Reporters asked about her serve, her goals, her legacy, but never about her. "Sometimes," she confessed, "I wanted to disappear for a week. No interviews, no headlines, just quiet. But quiet doesn't sell tickets. Quiet doesn't trend." So she smiled, signed autographs, and posted another victory photo with the caption, "Grateful." What she didn't post were the sleepless nights when she wondered what gratitude really meant if it came wrapped in loneliness. The invisible weight. There's a kind of pressure that doesn't show in muscles or movement. It lives in the mind. Coco began feeling it between matches, in moments when the crowd's noise felt too loud, the spotlight too bright. Her thoughts turned restless. What if I fail? What if I'm not enough anymore? Those doubts became constant travel companions. Her father noticed it first. After one tough loss, he found her sitting on the practice bench long after everyone else had gone. She wasn't angry, just quiet. "I feel like people love me for what I do, not who I am," she told him. "Corey," didn't have the perfect answer. He simply hugged her. Sometimes, love is the only language that heals what fame breaks. Cracks in the crown. Every champion has a breaking point. For Coco, it came during the Asian swing of the tour. Exhaustion, jet lag, emotional burnout. She'd been smiling through pain for months. Then one day, she woke up, looked in the mirror, and whispered, "I can't do this today." Instead of heading to practice, she stayed in bed for hours. No interviews, no media, just stillness. "That was the moment I realized I was running on empty," she later said. She took a step back, emotionally, mentally, and began therapy. Her team supported her decision, understanding that no victory is worth a broken spirit. It was the beginning of a new kind of strength, the courage to slow down, finding her voice. When Coco finally spoke publicly about her struggles, the world listened. Her words weren't rehearsed. They were raw and real. Winning is amazing, but it can be lonely too. Sometimes you give everything to the game and forget to keep something for yourself. It was a confession that shook sports media. Athletes from Naomi Osaka to Simone Biles resonated with it. Fans flooded her socials with love, thanking her for saying what so many felt. But for Coco, this wasn't about headlines. It was about healing. She wanted to remind young athletes that behind every gold medal lies a beating heart that sometimes hurts too, between echoes and expectations. After her confession, Coco began seeing success differently. The light returns. There's something cinematic about a champion rediscovering her joy. Coco began documenting her journey, not the wins, but the moments in between. A cup of coffee before sunrise, a laugh shared with her brother, a dance backstage before stepping on court. She started calling it the light work, the emotional work of keeping her spirit bright. "I used to think success was about how many people cheered for me," she said. "Now, I think it's about how I feel when I'm alone." In that realization, Coco Gauff found balance between applause and silence, between fame and freedom. Epilogue: the girl who found herself again, under the golden sunset of Miami's coast. Coco sits by the water barefoot, the waves kissing the sand. No cameras, no crowds, just her and the sound of peace. The wind catches her hair as she whispers, "Maybe success isn't what I thought it was. Maybe it's just learning to love yourself even when the world is watching." For years, she had been the face of tennis's future. Now, she was the voice of its humanity. Her confession didn't weaken her legacy. It deepened it. Because in a world obsessed with perfection, Coco Gauff taught us something extraordinary. That even champions can be lonely. That strength sometimes means saying, "I'm not okay." And that the truest victory lies not in trophies, but in truth itself. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.